Hello, and you are watching the Live Today show right here on CAN TV Channel 21. I'm Dr. Sheri, your host for the show and the founder of the Live Today Foundation, where our mission is to provide inspiration, joy, and free compression garments to under-resourced cancer patients and survivors living with lymphedema. You know, we are so very grateful that we have had the opportunity to provide more than 300 sets of garments to under-resourced cancer patients and survivors living with lymphedema to date. And as many of you may know, maybe you don't, but March is Lymphedema Awareness Month. And actually March 6th, the date of this recording, is actually World Lymphedema Day. And we are so excited to be able to share some upcoming events that the Live Today Foundation will be participating in and co-sponsoring, and where me, Dr. Sheri, will actually be featured as a keynote speaker, educating individuals about lymphedema. And before I go any further, because I tend to get very, very excited and forget to do the business part of this, but I want to go ahead and share my screen with you to let you see what we're going to be doing today and what we're going to be talking about on today's show. So today's show is about lymphedema can't ruin my survivorship, and how apropos for March being Lymphedema Awareness Month. And we want to share with you some information about truly how you can be proactive. You, your loved one, someone you know, maybe it's someone who hasn't even been diagnosed yet, not only with lymphedema, but with cancer. Having knowledge prior to the advent of trauma happening puts you in a better position to be able to respond appropriately. And so we want to share with you our vision and some very important information regarding our campaign, Lymphedema Can't Ruin My Survivorship. Now, for those of you that may not be familiar with the Live Today Foundation, listen, I want you to go out to our website at www.live-today.org. There's tons of resource information out there for you, not only about lymphedema, not only about cancer in general, but also information out there about nutrition, about yoga, about other resources that will help you to live your best life possible, especially for those of you that are on this survivorship journey as myself. If you want to send us an email, let us know how things are going. Maybe you have a general question. Maybe you have some suggested topics that we could talk about here on the Live Today show. Shoot us an email at info@live-today.org, and I promise you, we will get back to you. And for those of you that are old school, that are looking to hear a voice or just want to place a call, and maybe you just want us to hear you are doing a great job, thank you for the program that you're offering, give us a call at 754-220-0234. Now, for those of you that are out there on social media, please follow us. Please follow us. And again, this is an opportunity for you to engage with us. Let us know what you're thinking about the program. Let us know what you're thinking about the show. Let us know what other new information you would like to know. Because remember, we are the Live Today Foundation. And although we have baseline general goals that we are attempting to achieve, our ultimate goal is to help all of our audience to live today and every day. Remember, LIVE stands for love myself and others, inspire those around me, voice my dreams and ambitions, and enjoy life. All of that is wrapped up in the Live Today Foundation. So if you're out on social media, if you're out on Facebook or Instagram, please follow us at livetoday.org. That's livetoday.org. Oops, I went too fast. Or please follow us on YouTube. You can find out all of our past episodes. If you subscribe, you will be notified of any new episodes we post or upload to our YouTube channel, as well as we upload several videos that are not related to the Live Today show, but are prudent to helping you to live today and every day. So search for us at the Live Today Foundation on YouTube. Now, to jump into today's programming, I want you to take a listen at this video because this is extremely important for you to understand the severity of the problem of the individuals living with lymphedema in this country. Take a look.
Did you know that more than 10 million people suffer with lymphedema? That's more than muscular dystrophy, ALS, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, and AIDS combined. I'm Dr. Sheri, and I am the founder of the Live Today Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit organization meeting the needs of cancer survivors living with lymphedema. As a physician, a breast cancer survivor, and a person living with the complication of lymphedema myself, I created this foundation with three primary goals in mind. One, to educate health professionals about how to even diagnose lymphedema and to make them aware of the psychosocial impact of lymphedema on a survivor's life. Two, to educate patients about the importance of treatment and to make them aware of all of their treatment options. And three, to provide free compression garments to cancer survivors who are underserved and under-resourced in need of compression garments. Join the Live Today movement at live-today.org. Donate today because every dollar counts towards providing compression garments to those in need. Thank you.
You know,
Did you know that
we're doing our very best to spread the word. And here is why it is so important. And before I go on to the slide, you know what? Let me stop and share because I need you guys to focus on what it is I'm about to say. Lymphedema is so incredibly important because, as you can hear, it affects more individuals than all of those categories of diseases combined. And fortunately, for those individuals living with the diseases that were listed, there's been tons of research. There are resources out there, research and resources galore to help those individuals living with those particular conditions. But did you know that it has only been in very recent years that research has been properly done on lymphedema, the risk of lymphedema, the possible prevention of lymphedema, and the impact that it has on a survivor's life? And then the resources that are available. Did you know that until the Lymphedema Treatment Act was just recently passed, and we still won't see the fruition of it come to pass until it is actually in effect, but private insurance, Medicare and Medicaid do not pay for the mainstay of treatment, which is compression garments. And so it's important for us to talk about lymphedema and its impact on a survivor's life. Now, the reason why I'm talking to you today is I want you to understand that lymphedema is a very real risk if you are a cancer patient and or survivor. If you say, you know what, I was diagnosed with cancer, they just removed the lump, they didn't take out any lymph nodes, there were no lymph nodes that were involved, am I at risk? And the sheer act of either having cancer itself, surgery, radiation, and or chemotherapy places you at a risk for lymphedema. And the interesting part about lymphedema is that 75% of cases will show up within that first year of treatment. I'm sorry, within the first 3 years of treatment. And many individuals just sit around waiting, looking to see if lymphedema will develop or occur. And unfortunately, by the time you are looking yourself, measuring how you feel, if there's any tightness in your hands or fingers or along your arm, or seeing if there's any difference between how the sleeve fits on the left side versus how the sleeve fits on the right side. By the time you see swelling, it is stage 2 and beyond, and by then it is irreversible. And so the Live Today Foundation is getting out there with the Lymphedema Can't Ruin My Survivorship campaign to educate as many patients as we possibly can across the US and globally about how lymphedema can be prevented. We are so very grateful that therapists, physical therapists in Australia as well as Uganda are reaching out to us, trying to figure out a way of how we can replicate the program that we're doing here in the States in their own respective countries and continent. And that's how important this is. And if you can imagine how limited our resources are, simply because there hasn't been a whole lot of research about it. We're getting buzz now, but this is the buzz that we should have had years and years and years ago, because we as physicians know that this is a very real complication. But it was left on the back burner. So if you can imagine the limited resources that we are experiencing, you can only imagine how on certain continents and in certain countries, their resources are even less so. So we are happy to be about the business of the Lymphedema Can't Ruin My Survivorship campaign. And we are super excited to have partnered with Sisters Working It Out. We are going to have a fantastic event on March 18th, 2023 at the Timothy Community Corporation. Let me go ahead and share my screen again, because I want to share this. This is good stuff, guys. This is really, really good stuff. Here we go. This beautiful flyer was put together by the Sisters Working It Out team. We're so very grateful that we're going to have a physician from Northwestern that's actually going to be there sharing the program with me. So Sisters Working It Out, the Live Today Foundation, and the Chicago Cancer Institute, we're joining together and putting on this event in Lymphedema Awareness Month on March 18th, 2023. The program will run from 1 to 4 p.m. And as I stated, our host venue is the Timothy Community Corporation, located at 4351 South Drexel Boulevard in Chicago, Illinois. Listen, we got a lot of services that's going to be happening on that day. I'm telling you, we got blood pressure checks, we have diabetic checks, we have COVID-19 vaccines, we're going to be doing HIV testing boosters and education. There's going to be breast cancer education out there, lymphedema education out there. There's going to be box food giveaways. Wait a minute, get this, guys, get this. Hot food lunch, and a whole lot more. Oh my goodness, you are in for a treat. I'm telling you, block your calendars. You got to get out there. And the great thing about this, it's free. Yes, you heard me. Free, free. So you, your loved ones, someone you know, a neighbor, somebody that you know that was just diagnosed, that you may work with, someone at your church. If you are a cancer patient or survivor or caregiver or co-survivor, or maybe you don't have a connection to cancer at all, but you want to arm yourself with knowledge so that you can share with those individuals whose paths you cross, get on out to the Timothy Community Corporation on March 18th, 2023 from 1 to 4 p.m. And again, like I stated, this is a free event. And Dr. Guo is going to be discussing, she's going to be talking about breast cancer, particularly in the minority population, looking at risk factors, looking at the stats, looking at the prevalence, looking at the major various different forms of breast cancers. Which ones are more prevalent in those of women of color? And then I'm going to jump in. Oh, before I jump in, she's also going to talk about some of the side effects and complications that can occur as a part of your breast cancer treatment. And then I'm going to jump in because one of the huge complications of breast cancer treatment is the development of lymphedema. And so I'm going to come in on the program and I'm going to talk about lymphedema. I'm going to talk about the various different stages, because there are 4. I'm going to talk about the signs and symptoms of lymphedema. But then, most importantly, I'm going to come in and talk about how you can prevent chronic disabling lymphedema from occurring. Yes, you heard me right, with the proper monitoring program. And there are facilities across the Chicagoland area with the capability of monitoring for lymphedema in a particular way that I'm going to talk about, that yes, with proper monitoring and the appropriate intervention, if there's a trigger, 95% of patients do not go on to develop chronic debilitating lymphedema. So you got to get out there and come on out on March 18th and look at all of our many wonderful partners who are partnering with us on this, because they recognize just how important and how crucial having something like this during March Lymphedema Awareness Month, how critical it is for us to gain this type of knowledge and experience. Now, additionally, we have another event that's coming out, and I wanted to share this with you. This will not be specifically on lymphedema awareness, but it is something that I, Dr. Sheri, and the Live Today Foundation will be present at. I will actually be the moderator for this event. This is a symposium, and it is entitled Ignite. This is a movement against breast cancer. Here is the Eventbrite link. I will make sure that that link is posted in the notes section for this particular episode. But what I'd like to do is to just show you real quickly, if I can, what to expect when you click on this link. And so here you will see, this is TNBC. It's a Black thing, and we need to understand. TNBC is a Black thing that we need to understand. March 31st will be a private group where we're going to be discussing a little small panel with some triple negative breast cancer patients and some influencers. But here's the big day. On April 1st, from 9 until 3:30 p.m., at the South Shore Cultural Center, located at 7059 South Shore Drive. Say that 3 times. So let me repeat that. It's going to be held at the South Shore Cultural Center, located at 7059 South Shore Drive in Chicago, Illinois. You want to be out there on April 1st. And no, this is not an April Fool's joke, honey. Joking is not what we're about to do when we're talking about triple negative breast cancer, especially in women of color. You want to mark your calendars. And not only do you want to mark your calendars, but for this event, you do need to reserve a spot. Okay. So for the March 18th event, we just need you to come on out to the Timothy Community Corporation at 4351 South Drexel. But for this April 1st symposium, due to the size of this symposium, we need you to click on that Eventbrite link that will be located in the notes section to reserve your spot so that we can make sure we have everything for you. So again, this is TNBC. It's a Black thing that we need to understand. April 1st, 2023, from 9 until 3:30 p.m. I will be the moderator for the entire event, and I'm telling you, it's going to be some absolute stimulating conversation. And so the importance of just talking about breast cancer in general during the month of March, during Lymphedema Awareness Month, it's important to talk about TNBC as well, because triple negative breast cancer, when you come out, you're going to find out that, when it occurs in Black women, and we are at an increased risk, prevalence rate and incidence rate. Obviously, if you, in any cancer that for Blacks, there is an increased risk, then you know what? There's your increased risk for developing lymphedema. And so that's where the tide comes in. And that's where we want you to be educated on what you can do. One, not only to make sure that you are appropriately screened for breast cancer in general, that you understand your risk factors for particular types of breast cancer, and also what you can do to prevent those debilitating complications that could possibly live with you for the rest of your life. And so let me jump back into the PowerPoint that I wanted to share with you. Again, for those of you that want to find out more information about the Live Today Foundation, please go out to www.live-today.org. Shoot us an email at info@live-today.org, or feel free to give us a call at 754-220-0234. Again, follow us on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Live Today, DOTORG, and find us on YouTube. Just search the Live Today Foundation. Now, guys, I want to share this with you, and that is, you need to equip yourself with as much information as you possibly can. And I don't mean to inundate your brain such that you can't remember anything, because you've acquired so many statistics that it's hard to keep track of them. I'm talking about arming yourself with at least 5 to 10 key points that not only you can remind yourself to do and to check upon, but that you can remind your loved ones, those that you may work with, those in your church organization, the information that you can share, and be not only a patient advocate for yourself, but to also be a patient advocate for someone else. We really need to work as a community so that we acquire and obtain every possible resource that we need as people of color, because when cancer happens to us, it's different. A friend of mine, Ricky Fairley, who many of you may know, she talks about, she has the Black Cancer, Touch the Black Cancer Alliance. And I love the fact that it's the Black Cancer Alliance, because Black cancer is different than any other type of cancer. And when I say Black cancer, I mean cancer occurring in Black people is just different. There is a different makeup, there's a different response, there's difference in access, there are differences because of social determinants of health, there's differences because of poverty, because of education, because of literacy, because of socioeconomic status. There's so much out there that just makes the cancer experience for Black people, and for Black and brown people, people of color, that it is important for us to talk about from that perspective, not just cancer in general. Cancer in general is where we can start. Lymphedema in general is where we can start, but we need to break it down and understand what makes it unique in us. And really what makes it unique in us is that we die at a much higher rate. The severity of disease is so much greater. We're diagnosed at later stages. Our access to the best of care and individualized care is not equal. And you know what? Even in those areas where we found that access is the same. Okay, we get into an area where, we're talking about middle-class individuals, and we compare a Black woman with breast cancer and a white woman with breast cancer that has equal access. The prognosis and the morbidity that Black woman goes through compared to the white woman is still different. So Black cancer is very different. And that's what the Live Today Foundation, in a cohort with Northwestern University, the Chicago Cancer Alliance, Sisters Working It Out, and the Patient Advocate Foundation, which is the event that's being held on April 1st. That's why we're joining together, because we realize we can't work in silos if we're going to make a difference within our community. This is a community problem. It is a community issue. And therefore, the Live Today Foundation was very much for this needs to be a community concerted effort. And so it is with a great honor and great pride that the Live Today Foundation is super excited to work with organizations like Sisters Working It Out, like the Patient Advocate Foundation, like the Chicago Cancer Alliance, like Touch the Black Cancer Alliance. It's just absolutely wonderful because we're getting on board and making a difference in what we can share with each of you. And so I hope this program has been helpful, that it has provided you with some insight on some of the great things that we have coming up. Please mark your calendars again for March 18th. You know what? Matter of fact, I think I want to go back to, I want you to see this one more time, if I possibly can. Let me see how I can get to you. I want to be sure that I can share what is happening on March 18th. I am so incredibly grateful to what's occurring for us. And here we go. I want to go ahead and share this now. I want you to see that for the March 18th event, guys, there's so much that's going to be happening on this day. You just don't want to miss it. March 18th, 2023, Live Today, Sisters Working It Out, and the Chicago Cancer Initiative are going to be joining forces to present to you. March is Lymphedema Awareness Month, and Lymphedema Warriors, you know, her fight is our fight. I and Dr. Nita Goel is going to take the stage, educating you about breast cancer in minorities, as well as lymphedema and how it can be prevented. Come on out from 1 to 4, because in addition to us talking about breast cancer and lymphedema, we got tons of basic primary care services that are going to be provided for free: blood pressure checks, diabetic checks, COVID-19 vaccines, HIV testing boosters and education. We're going to have box food giveaways, as well as a hot food lunch and much more. You know, you guys, you got to come out. It's going to be so many people in the room. You're not going to want to miss this. If you are concerned, please feel free to wear your mask. But we're planning on having vendors there so that you can come out and be able to network and have some time to socialize, eat and share, and get some fantastic information. We're so very thankful for our partners out there that is going to be working with us to make this event happen. And again, if you want to learn more about the Live Today Foundation, I want you to go out to livetoday-org. That's www.live-today.org. Shoot us an email at info@live-today.org, or feel free to give us a call. And don't forget our event on April 1st, Ignite. It's a movement against TNBC, which is triple negative breast cancer. And the title is TNBC, It's a Black Thing that we need to understand. It's April 1st at the South Shore Cultural Center. This is the Eventbrite link that I will make sure is in the notes section. For this event, you do need to reserve your spot. It is from 9 until 3:30 p.m. And I'm telling you, it's going to be chock full of education, information, and goodies that you do not want to miss. And so I am so very grateful for the time that you have given me on today. I'm Dr. Sheri, founder of the Live Today Foundation and your host for the Live Today show. And remember, I want you to be present. Take charge of your life and live today and every day. God bless you guys. Take care.